Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Mania 4 Key World Cup 2024. Boy, does it feel good to say that again. We're rolling right along with the round of 16 weekend. This time, with a loser's bracket match, we have Argentina taking on Poland, as both look to fight for their tournament lives to try and make it to the quarterfinals. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined in the commentary booth by none other than Dynascape. Dyna, how you doing?
It's always a good match when I am joined with the queen of commentary, Sparky. Argentina, Poland, this one is a bit of a doozy. Argentina managing to snag a point against 6th-seeded UK on SB, where we all thought UK was a very strong, historically, SB team. And Poland actually getting a lot of points in their match against Singapore seed 11, which was absolutely insane to see. 2 rice picks and an SB as well. So I think this one might be a match for the ages. Should be good, should be close, and we'll just see what happens here.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these teams punching well above their weight last round. Maybe just some unfortunate matchups. Always hard going up against some of those single-digit seeded teams, but both of them going into this one maybe hoping they can pull a fast one on the other. Historically, some very strong rosters over the last couple of years, but both of them seeing themselves in the 20s in terms of seeding, but that is not to discount the power behind the players that are coming to the fold here. It's just a matter of what the strategy is going to be for both of these lineups. A little bit different than what they might have done so in the past, but adaptation is going to be the name of the game. And we're going to get the protects here. Looks like SV1 already got protected. Poland going to be protecting next here as we begin to tune in to the feed.
Yeah, and I think that SB Protect makes a lot of sense against Poland, or just as Argentina in general. They did really well on SB1 last week, so why would it not be the same for this week? And what would be the scary thing is if Poland ends up protecting SB2, because Poland was the one to play SB2 last week with our Outer Mongolia. But in fact, they are going to protect Rice 3, one of those skill sets that they did shine against Singapore on, and will ban SB2. So now it's up to Argentina to ban something, and I think a Rice pick is really, really good for them, because I think Argentina leans more towards those LNs and HBs, and Poland, again, just really, really strong on that Rice field.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe an opportunity to remove one of the more straightforward rice picks. Always comes down to a battle of accuracy on that side, and if you're going up against a team that doesn't really, or really does have the accuracy to show for it on those more conventional picks, maybe something like Rice 2, Rice 1 might be a good ban. But to your point, SV2, clear cut, get rid of it, don't give Argentina an extra comfortable pick, and sure enough, Rice 2 gets removed from the map pool here. Spiral Erebus not going to be played in this match.
Shows that Argentina really doing their homework from last week. Poland with an amazing team score on Senko No Flare. I think it was something like 997, 996, and maybe like a 990 with a miss. Something like that. So, I mean, Poland really does have some hard hitters when it comes to very straightforward jump stream. So taking that out of the equation means that Argentina is safe for at least one of the Rice maps. Cut it down by just a little bit. Though I guess with the increase in the pool size, might be a little bit harder to stray away from Rice as much as Argentina would like to. But with their first pick, Numpa's going to go ahead and choose Hybrid 3.
Ooh, a pretty interesting way to start things off. Considered maybe the most technically demanding of the hybrids. And maybe wanting to reserve the LNs for later on down the line. All of them making it through the banning unscathed, so full complement of choices for Argentina. So maybe wanting to put the feelers out just a little bit, just to see how comfortable Poland is with these more mixed up type of picks.
Yeah, it really is an interesting first pick. Usually you don't see hybrids delved into until later in a match, but as I said, Argentina very much an LN or hybrid team. They've got a lot of good supporting characters to go with it. Got Hakitsu, Clone Droid, even Nubbo Girl and Kuru can play hybrid depending on the skill set. So we'll see out of those 5 which we're going to get. For Poland, we've got Bagietka, Klobuk, and if I'm not mistaken, usually Malza is their all-rounder, where Malza basically played everything but the SV for their match last week. So pretty standard players coming out for each of the teams. Just gotta have to see how they do because, I mean, Introduction Bygone is very, very tricky. Like you said, very technically demanding. A lot of focus on those releases, some weird quad staggers, some weird release things going on, and then you get into those really physical streams as well. So different skill sets attacked in both LN and Rice. Gonna see how it works out, and whoever really gets this point has a couple of maps that they might feel able to branch out on, whether it be Rice 1 or something like LN3.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out, it's like both these countries really do feel a little streaky in terms of how they can really build up momentum in a match, where if you start to let them get the ball rolling, they get a break point here, a break point there, they can really build on that. The confidence amongst the team helps drive the performances, and next thing you know, they are snowballing 3 to 4 picks in a row, and if that doesn't get broken up by the opponent, it could very well easily lead to like a 6-1, 6-2 type of scoreline. That being said, if they are really as closely matched as we're hoping they are, we could see some more fireworks here. We've seen a tiebreaker already this weekend, a near tiebreaker directly thereafter. Let's see how they perform on Hybrid 3 here.
Yeah, all of the matches so far have been absolutely insane, and I have high hopes for this one as well. But like you said, can't let it run away too early. Can't let any breakpoints go through. Last week was a bit different with it being first to 5. So with first to 6, you get a little bit more leniency. However, maybe they need it, as Argentina not having the best start could be a client issue. Same with Malza. We're gonna have to see what happens as things tighten up and we tidy things up.
Looks like the team colors weren't set inside of the lobby. It looked like it was a 4v2 going into it, so very quick abort by the referee. Very nicely spotted, and we can get a fair 3v3 on our hands here.
Yeah, so second try here. Gonna see how they do, and starting off, everyone doing just fine. Should be pointed out that Nubbo is a hidden player by default. Nothing, it's just all to do with comfort. You don't see that very too often, but it is always interesting when it arises, especially in a setting like MWC.
Yeah, for sure. Always want to strive for visual comfort. We'll see how that moves on as we continue on through this introduction. A couple of 99.5s to start things off, but as the Rainbow 300 starts to rain down, and we take stock of the situation, Poland faring through that introduction, about to approach that 400 combo cap as a lobby together, pulling away to the tune of about 3,000 points. But Malza finding a pretty massive drop on the first major Rice burst in this chart. Not answered back by Argentina, and Argentina claws the lead back, 9,000 points in their favor going into the second quarter of the map.
Yeah, really stunning start here. Girl had a lot of early releases on the LN section, but once we got into the streams, we saw Malza drop, I think, 2 or 3 times. They're pretty dirty as well, so a lot of work to be done on the side of Poland and to be able to catch things up. And we're halfway through. There's still a lot of quad streams going on, but it seems like everyone's settled in just fine. Maybe those nerves are just catching up to them.
Yeah, for sure. Get a chance to take stock of the situation. Approaching the back half of the map now, Klobuk standing head and shoulders above everybody else, about a full 10th ahead of their closest competitor, Hakitsu, who finds the drop in return for Argentina. So 2-2 now in terms of the drops, and that halves the lead. Poland is starting to claw this back due to the accuracy advantage that 2 of their players have, Bagietka and Klobuk, trying to pull things back for the side of Poland. Malza trying to lend their support, and Nubbo falls, but the trade's back. Klobuk and Malza, a 2-1 in favor of Argentina, helps them grow the lead back as Hakitsu finds yet another drop going into the last quarter.
Yeah, no one really finding comfort on this map except for maybe Bagietka and Girl, 2 of the only FCs in the lobby. And as we get into this really, really physical section, a lot of LNs coming your way. Seems like Argentina kind of finds their stride and solidifies their lead. There's 8,000 points to their name, and map is closing out. There's not a lot of difficult sections left. I think the work has been done, and I think Argentina really has sealed it.
Yeah, it looked dicey there towards the middle section, but those first couple of drops from Poland kind of set the tone, almost given back there. But ultimately, Argentina pulls through on their first point and makes it 1-0 to start things off.
Back and forth, blow for blow. That's what we like to see for a first point. That is a good sign of things to come.
Absolutely. And right now, all I got to do is wait for Poland's first pick here. What are they going to answer back with to start things off? They have the almost full complement of the rice pool available to them. You imagine they might want to wander into hybrid 1 potentially if it really comes down to it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like Rice 6, maybe Rice 5, something technical. There we go. Supernova going to be the pick here for Poland to start their match off.
Yeah, so something very vocally dumpy, or as you and I like to say, spoken streams, along with Jax to the percussion. So very fun stuff. First K-pop map of the pool, or of the pools in general. So this should be a good one. Really test Poland and their ability to act on weirder streams, because I think it'll help out in a lot of other maps and they can branch out later.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those maybe double-edged swords. You get into one of these shorter maps just shy of 2 minutes, the mistakes get amplified, it feels like, and bleed over several thousands points off of just singular misses. And if they are traded back, this can easily spiral out of control one way or the other. We see some substitutions here. Ender Nubek checking in for Poland. Gonna back up Malta and Klobak, who stay put here. And it looks like Argentina gonna be same lineup, Girl, Nubbo, and Hakitsu, potentially, going into the second map.
Yeah, this map pretty speedy as well. We already see the 1.15 rate coming out, and at BPM of about 138, that translates to around 276 streams, but they're also very chilly. And again, you have the Jax in between. And I think even at its fastest, they become 12ths, like 12 graces in some portions. So not super straightforward. Again, it is vocal dump, so you always get that little spice in your streams. But we'll have to see. I mean, Argentina not really known to do super well on Rice, but I think with maybe Nubbo, Girl, and Hakitsu, they performed really well on Hybrid 3. Especially the streams in general, basically neck and neck with Poland when it comes to scoring there. So I think that there is a chance that they can take a break point.
Yeah, always on the cards. And like I mentioned, I mean, either one of these two countries starts building up momentum, it can really spiral out of control. So Poland needing to answer back to maintain the parity here. Argentina looking to try and get that first break point as we load into Supernova.
Here we go. First couple of notes trickling in. Once we get into the chorus, obviously it'll be much harder, but here we go for now. This first little section, it seems like Argentina pulling ahead by just a little. Hakitsu looks really, really clean when it comes to accuracy, but that's honestly matched by Ender Nubek and Klobak.
Yeah, this is very close to call, going up to that 400 combo cap, and now is when the misses beyond this point are going to do significantly more damage than the first quarter. So now everybody's settling in. 99.9s for Poland, 99.8s for Argentina, and Poland starting to eke out the tiniest of advantages. It's maybe a 10th or two in the back pocket to work with as all 6 FCs stay on the board going into the back half.
Yeah, those two players for Poland that I called out really doing work. Klobak and Ender Nubek staying strong at basically 99.9 for both of them. Pretty above anyone else on Argentina. That's leading to their 1,000 point lead as Hakitsu drops in the transition to this section.
Yeah, things lighten up. You hyper-focus through some of the denser sections. It's when you take your foot off the gas just a little bit is when the slip-ups start to happen, and that gives Poland a significant advantage. All 3 FCs still left on their side going into the last quarter of the map. And everybody transitioning very nicely. You see those outer column jacks starting to potentially do a little bit of damage, but everybody manages them perfectly as Hakitsu brings themselves back into the fold, up above that 400 combo cap, ready to lend their support, but right now has the damage already been done. The map is coming to an end. Poland, still an immaculate performance from all three of their players, 12,000 points in the lead.
And they've done it. They have beaten Argentina, really showing how strong they are on Rice in general. And shouts outs to Malza, who dipped down to about 99.7 about halfway in, but really locked in their MA and did not hit any 200s afterwards. Just a solid team score by Poland, 995, 993, 991. And unfortunately for Argentina, even though they did have some pretty good accuracies on Nabu and Girl, it would not have been enough even if Hakitsu were to not miss those two notes. Just unfortunate situation, but I mean, what can you do against someone that is just really strong on Rice? So Poland going up 1-1. Thankfully, it is Argentina to pick. They still have SV1. They still have, some weirder picks in line as well. Stuff like the rest of the hybrid pool, honestly. LN3, they could all be good choices.
Yeah, definitely have a couple of avenues of approach for the rest of this match. And I mean, to be fair, the fact that they were able to keep something like Rice 5 as competitive as it was for as long as they did, I mean, it gives them something to work with. Like, they're not completely getting blown out of the water here on the Rice so far. And they're about to jump into their comfort zone. SV1 going to be the pick, going straight into their protect.
Yeah, Horizon Blue going to be seen here. And honestly, I think that Argentina and Poland both have really good team scores on SV in general. So this should be a closer one than we think, even though it is Argentina's pick. And Poland did ban the other SV. Nabo, Joe, and Girl doing really, really well last week. And let's see here, Bayetka and Paraxia and Klobuk also did really well last week, though it was on SV2. This one, a little bit more in terms of memorization patterns, a lot more teleports, but we'll just have to see. I think it is a pretty sizable jump in difficulty, so FCs really aren't expected. At least 6-way FCs. I think that someone might trip up at some point, but if a team can pull it off and hit that 3-way FC with decent accuracy, that's basically a guaranteed ticket for a point.
Yeah, I'm willing to agree with you there. It's definitely one of the most volatile picks in any pool because of the fact that you have situations where you have such a light note count that getting up over that 400 combo cap becomes a bit of an issue. If you miss in the middle of the map, that you basically tank your score for the rest of the map. And if your team isn't able to kind of recover for you, then it can lead to a tiny bit of a disaster. But as it stands, you were saying last week, these two countries did immaculate when called upon on the SVs. So more than willing to bet that they at least practiced it. And thankfully not the hardest of, dare I say, gimmicks in this map, but I think anticipation is going to be the name of the game. Who can remember where all these jumps are, all these staggers, all these oddities and ends that mappers like to throw into these SV picks? And here we go, third map of the match. It is going to be Horizon Blue. Good luck to both teams.
And I like how you mentioned, as Klobuk does not take this first couple of notes that well. I like how you mentioned the jumps, because that is very important. In Ignite My Heart and Outer Spangolia, we didn't see a lot of aggressive jumps in the SVs. However, this is very much, especially in the back half, there are a lot of very, very big jumps, very fast jams. We got into a couple of them at the start, and then here we go with a couple of these teleports. Seems like Argentina is picking up quite a decent bit of a lead. Some of that is due to Klobuk, missing, but also just the accuracy in general.
Yeah, really starting to eke out the advantage back. Yetka finding the first drop for the side of Poland, and as I mentioned, this is a very snowbally type of pick. 30,000 points already in favor of Argentina. Paraxia falls as well. The lead is only growing as Argentina continues to knock this pick out of the park, going into the second third of the chart. Already 78,000 points and climbing. Nearly untouchable going into the back half of the chart now.
Yeah, a person to watch out for on Argentina really is Dro. They did so well last week and continue to do that this week. 99.64, best score in the lobby so far. And as we get this little break section, a couple of slow jams, Klobuk is going to miss again. We see Bagieka all the way down at 97, Praxia 98. There aren't any more FCs in the lobby for Poland, and the accuracy really is slipping. 100,000 points of a lead for Argentina, and there's only a fourth of the map left. It seems done and dusted for Poland.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those picks where you kind of see what's going on. You feel the first couple of misses come through, and it's like, okay, kind of mental reset. Start looking ahead to the next pick. Start get the nerves out. Where this is your opportunity. It's like, okay, it's done. 140,000 points. Unless Argentina has a massive collapse here at the end, there's really nothing you can do here. So what's the next pick going to be? How are we going to reorient ourselves? Because Poland was never going to willingly go into this, especially because of the fact that Argentina had the confidence to protect it. And sure enough, a convincing 142,000 point win, a three-way FC for Argentina on SV1 here.
Yeah, that's that magic that really won them the point against UK last week. This squad is really good. Sure, maybe the accuracy could be better on a couple people for Argentina, but just overall, you can expect that consistency time and time again. If you played this map 100 times in a row for Argentina, likely they'd probably FC it like 90 plus times in a three-way FC. So big ups to Argentina as they gather their second point. Time for Poland to choose now. And where do they go? They just won on Rice 5. Got a lot of different choices here. A lot of tech picks still left. We've got Rice 6, we've got Rice 4, and even, I guess, Rice 1 could be a good pick as well, considering how streamy Supernova was.
And sure enough, Rice 1 is going to be the pick here. So opting to go for one of the more quote-unquote conventional Rice charts. Just straightforward in terms of its patterning. Speed might be a bit of an issue, but I think it's a little bit easier to digest than something more technical.
Yeah, definitely. Go with a straightforward pick for now. There aren't that many in the pool, considering Jumpstream was banned by Argentina. Still have the Cornjack pick, but that's always kind of an outlier within the Rice pool itself. So Argentina gonna try to find three people to match up Malza Klobuk, and should be actually a lot of people can third man it for Poland. Usually we do have Malza and Klobuk on any Rice LN hybrid pick, and then Poland does a good job of being malleable for that third slot. So for this time, we'll see Ender Nubek, and for Argentina, we'll see Hakitsu.
Yeah, and Clone Droid making an appearance as well, giving Girl a bit of a break. Able to make it through the first three maps, maybe just a little bit more comfortable in terms of their MA on something like this. It can get a little rough at times. I think what people like to say, mind block is definitely a thing whenever you're playing something that's more straightforward. You start to kind of autopilot a little bit, and that's when you start running into trouble. So we'll see how it goes. Looks like the players are in Ender Nubek, Malza, and Klobuk going against Nubbo, Clone Droid, and Hakitsu. Poland looking to try and keep the parity here, 2-2. Argentina looking to try and pick up that first break point in this match still, because as it stands, we're just getting the tiebreaker if nobody finds one of these.
Yeah, and like you said, mind block definitely could be a key factor in this map. Chokeable is also another word that might crop up and on things like this, especially with streams. They're so straightforward, but honestly, this map is very one-hand trilly. At the beginning, a lot of it you'll see one-hand trills at about 1/5 and 1/6 snaps, and then some more straightforward streams the back half with 1/8 snaps. So it kind of trades out that patterning for physicality later on, but we'll have to see how they do it in this first section where that finesse really is needed.
Yeah, as you mentioned, those snaps really do start to condense a little bit, and the propensity to want to crush some of those runs, especially since they are so staircase oriented before transitioning into those one-hand trills, can start to run into a bit of an issue, but handled expertly by everybody in this lobby. Everybody above that 99.7 mark. Just some outliers above into that 99.8 range. But Ender Nubik finding the first drop for Poland, not answered back by Argentina. And Argentina going to be able to establish a bit of a foothold in this map now. 3,000 points in the lead as we make our way into the second third now.
Oh, and Ender Nubik drops yet again. Just can't seem to keep up physically with these 1A streams. They are very, very difficult to contend with, so I do not blame them at all. But as we get into this little break section and the final break section as well, Argentina 12,000 point lead. Nabo absolutely carrying their team with a great accuracy of 99.82. Clone Droid and Hakitsu not far behind, but they do need to keep up and they cannot afford to miss because Malsa and Clobuck very much close behind, 99.86 and 81. They need to do everything in their power to stop them, and to do that they cannot miss. They cannot drop more 200s than they need to.
Yeah, absolutely. Transitioning on into the last quarter of the map. Argentina still 13,000 points in the lead as we dive right back on into it. Everybody transitioning beautifully into this section. Poland not out of it just yet, but need Argentina to spot them a couple of misses. Those two misses still in the back pocket for Argentina. As we continue on, Ender Nubik able to make it back up with that 400 combo cap, starting to climb up in terms of their accuracy as well. But no trades to speak of on the side of Argentina means that there's really not much Poland can do from this standpoint. Last eighth of the map still left to go, and the lead is staying put here.
What a crazy team score that they're setting right now. Argentina really just need to hold on for this last stream, and with Ender Nubik dropping for a third time, I think you can seal the deal here. 18,000 points as Argentina closes it out. Ender Nubik drops again. Malza fails the FC. Clobuck the only FC left on Poland. Malza again drops, just adds insult to injury. Argentina, what a performance on Rice 1, destroying those streams.
Yeah, crazy team score from their side, and very importantly, the first breakpoint secured for the red team here. 3-1 now with their pick upcoming, an opportunity to really turn the screw in this match. All three LNs left open, Hybrid 2 still on the board. It's looking good if you are Argentina. And Poland's going to need to find an answer here to try and right the ship a little bit.
Yeah, Argentina really sitting comfy at this moment. Finally going to delve into the LN section. And what a pick this is. Arcat's survival something map. Mint's difficulty. Very much a fun map. So lots of density-ish tricks and also release. I would definitely say it's like a density releasey kind of map when it comes to that mixed section. There's a lot of focus on those things.
Dare I say wildcardy in terms of its pattern and structure.
Exactly, yeah.
just everything thrown at you. This map is the epitome of trying to make you uncomfortable while trying to maintain those releases. But I mean, we've been highlighting it. It's like Argentina, a very LN-oriented team. We see Kuru check in to round out that roster. Bagietka gonna lend their support for Poland. Not out of it just yet. Another really short map, and with LNs, it's very easy to start chain missing because you're misreading some of these structures. So still all to play for, but advantage Argentina at the moment, looking to try and double up off of that breakpoint here.
And I'm quite surprised we aren't seeing Girl on this pick. Maybe just not a fan of some of the patterns presented, but usually we do see Girl instead of Clone Droid for it. We'll see how this works out, as Clone Droid doesn't have the best accuracy starting off, really leading into Poland getting that early lead.
Yeah, very much by their standard, maybe a bit of a middling start. Everybody hovering in and around that 99.5, 99.6 range. Meanwhile, we do have the outliers for Poland. Bagietka holding on to the highest accuracy in this lobby, and that really is making all the difference right now in this map, as the lead is only about 1,600 points, but Clobuck finds the first drop, going to swing the lead back in favor of Argentina as they find yet a second drop going into the second quarter of the chart. It is now 9,000 points in favor of Argentina as everybody survives the second one-hand trill, transitioning into the break section now.
Yeah, lots of jacks, lots of chances to miss as Malza drops, so only FC left again. Bagietka needs to do something here and now. We're halfway through the map and Argentina gaining their lead. Something needs to change, and what needs to change is the combos on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, we are combo gaming at the moment if you are Argentina, but you are going to take that and run with it all the way to the bank. 18,000 points in their favor. Really long one-hand trill. Everybody making it through unscathed as we make our way into the next density section. Last quarter of the map still left to go. Accuracy starting to trickle a little bit left and right as the 300 counts start to rise up, but Argentina is going to take that 10 times out of 100 because of the fact that they have all 3 FCs left on the board here and starting to grow their lead even further. 20,000 points going into this outro.
Consistency over accuracy. Really, Argentina showcasing what is the strength when 3 players FC a map. And last couple of one-hand trills, not going to catch them out. You know, really strict gonna get crew with a 200. But by golly, Argentina, yet another point. You know, the accuracies aren't super crazy on them. Maybe for Nubbo, honestly, that was a really good performance. But wow, I mean, 987, 92, 93, that's really all you can ask for. And it leads to a smashing victory against Poland on LN3.
I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, as long as your score is higher than their score, it doesn't matter what
matters.
the number is. And Poland sensing a little bit of that danger of losing control of this match. Remember what I said, it can easily snowball. Argentina 4-1 now, really starting to build up momentum. Go for Rice 3, start to try and break up some of this challenge that Argentina is mounting.
Yeah, and what a crazy shift in Rice picking for Poland, going for the core jack. Even though they won on Supernova, more of a techie, streamy pick, they don't feel confident enough to go on Bullet Facet or to go on /A/. So really speaks to how much Argentina has shook them up in this match. So Poland gonna try to find their second point with Reiwa, and potentially it could be their last pick if they don't perform on this map.
Yeah, this is the purest of pure accuracy checks. Can you handle 140 BPM core jack is basically the fundamental question being asked here. We have seen core jack picks in the past be complete shootouts where it is double-digit 200 counts, singular points at certain instances, or just complete washouts because someone can't maintain the consistency and the 200s start coming out, the misses start coming out, and things just completely collapse. For Poland's sake, I hope they can pull something out of the bag here and secure another point. Let them fight another day. But Argentina is going to try and close that door as quickly as humanly possible. And what better way to do it than on a core jack pick?
Exactly, and core jack always one of those skill sets where you miss once, there's a big chance you might miss again in the next snap, or even if you CB rush, that could be basically the end of your run and at a chance of getting a good score on the map. So hopefully that happens to none of these 6 players as we get into this very awkward start. You know, into these jack patterns, there are a lot of weird transitions. You know, you get little force streams, stuff like that. That'll change up later on, but it really requires a certain finesse that a lot of people don't really find in a lot of very standard core jack maps. It's not just brainless mashing on this map. There's a couple tricks involved.
Absolutely, you gotta really keep your wits about you. And right now, Poland doing a really good job. Consistent team score, 2 players above that 99.9 mark, but Argentina 1 step behind at the moment. All 6 FCs still left on the board here, but this is, as I mentioned before this map started, going to be an accuracy test. And right now, Poland is answering the call, but only by the slimmest of margins. 3,000, 4,000 points as we transition into the back half now.
Nubbo neutralizing out Klobuk, but Malsa misses, so suddenly things seem pretty good for Argentina. I think the latent accuracies for all of the players in general do seem to favor Poland by just a little bit. So once Malsa really gets up to that 400 combo cap, I think we'll see things swing once back again. But the problem is Malsa needs to get back to the 400 combo cap because they missed yet again. So suddenly it's a little bit more dicey. A third of the map left. Argentina, big lead.
Yeah, two of the worst spots to find a drop at. We're not even back into the major core jack section, but once they do, they don't have the combo to get them back into the match. And now, lingering at that 99.6 mark, under that 400 combo cap, they are just bleeding points over to Argentina, already going to crest that 5,000 point mark. But that being said, I mean, they make it back up with that 400 combo cap. They stem the bleeding just a little bit. There's a tiny sliver of hope that Argentina finds a drop here or there. But as the map is coming to an end, it is 8,000, 9,000 points. Argentina not giving this up, but Malza finds the last drop, and that one might be one too many. Argentina on the cusp of a match point situation. Hakitsu finds the trade back, but it is too little too late, and Argentina make it 5-1.
Oh man, that team consistency yet again for Argentina, shining through and getting themselves 2 match point. Hakitsu, if I were Hakitsu, I would have been sweating on that last miss. However, thankfully they accrued enough of a lead to stave off Poland, even with that little mistake. And honestly, Joe took a couple of bad judgments as well, but still comes out with a very clean 991 despite 4 100s and a 50. Argentina, man, they are looking quite good. As some GGs came out, I believe. I thought it was first to 6.
I thought it was first to 6 also, but we shall see. We're being bamboozled here, Dinah.
We just got. I had to check the calendar. I thought it was April 1st because we did get tricked.
Yeah, it is. It is to 6 this weekend. The match is not over. It is indeed match point situation.
Okay, so Poland wiping the sweat off their brows. They do still have a chance in this match as the referee tries to wrangle them all back like cows in a cattle.
Yep,
in the ranch.
Like emergency situation, everybody call the meeting, get everybody back in here. We are not done. Poland's not out of this tournament just yet.
They've still got a fighting chance in this, and while we wait for the other players to join back in, Sparky, what do you think would be a good choice for Argentina to really secure the best chance of them notching in that final point?
Honestly, LN2 speaks to me. LN1 speaks to me. It's one of those where either one is good. It's just stylistically, what do they want to kind of close things out on? So right now, just waiting for confirmation, waiting for the dust to settle here as we wait for this match. It's had a little bit of everything. We had that break point. We had some really close calls, some astonishing victories. That SV pick still stands out to me as like, wow, it's a testament to just how one-sided those maps can be, but also how swingy they can be. Because all it took was one miss to start off the chain reaction. So
yeah, it really feels like Poland usually has like that stranglehold when it comes to accuracy and team accuracy, but just can't seem to find very clean FCs, and that's been a reason to a lot of their losses on some of these maps so far. Seems like Nubo has picked LN2, so they are going to try to finish it off on the density pick, which I do really like because that was a big factor in LN3. So very, very good choice by Argentina. Gonna have to see if it pays off. I do think it's probably the best chance that they have at closing it off early.
yeah, for sure. You want to take the path of least resistance, because we've been saying it throughout this match. It's like both these countries so streaky in terms of how quickly they can build momentum, and we've seen it happen in this match already. Argentina, 4 to the good, unanswered, looking to try and close this out. Poland, if they do get this breakpoint back somehow, I mean, that could be the way back in. They can start building on that and start getting some points back, but it's gonna come down to this pick. LN2, do or die for this Polish roster. Can they do it?
Yeah, we've got Pochiko no Shiawase no Nanichijo, collab by U East and Mint 192 BPM, density, and there's a lot of tricks involved, a lot of very long anchors, some funny two-hand inner trills, stuff like that. So lots of things involved where people can honestly miss, and so far no one has yet, except for Clone Droid, who I somehow missed in the first 200 notes. So Poland, decent lead starting off, however, more needs to be done as the accuracy is kind of lacking on this Olympic.
And Taj coming in for Poland, finding the first drop for the Polish side, going to give the lead back on over to Argentina. Clone Droid recovering very nicely from their early drop, being able to lend their score back into the fold, and they start to grow this advantage going into the back half of the chart now. As you mentioned, everybody kind of settling in this mid 99% range. Nubbo being the only one to start to climb up into that 99.6 mark and really starting to tug this lead back over to their side. That being said, it's still 3,000 points. It's teetering on a bit of a knife's edge going into the last third of the chart here.
Yeah, anything can happen. Points are honestly separated by basically one miss or a couple 200, and Clone Droid actually takes a couple 200s themselves, and Poland tries to cut down this lead, but it's wavering way too much back and forth. 4,000 points. As we get into a slower section, you can see pretty much the true lead here. And this last section is pretty hard. However, I don't know if Argentina will yield. They've been so consistent. They've been so good as a team. Will it continue?
It's 1,500 points. Baguetka's mounting the charge here, 99.64. Nubbo fell from their perch. Now it is Kuru trying to pick up the pieces here. It's still 3,000 points as we make our way through the last couple of bursts. And Argentina is going to hang on and officially close this match out by a score of 6-1, knocking Poland out of the Mania 4Key World Cup and causing the upset here, 27-22.
What a crazy upset that Argentina has pulled off. And again, I can't talk about it enough. This team is so consistent. They deserve this win so much. So congratulations to Argentina for putting up a good match against Poland. And of course, unfortunate for Poland, but they will be the technically third team out of MWC 2024. They did really well. They were super promising. I can't wait to see what they do next year, honestly, because they have a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be very exciting to see how their country as a whole grows. A lot of new faces, a lot of players that started off new a couple of years ago, really taking up that mantle and seeing where they can push their scene. But all the plaudits to Argentina here, able to make it to the quarterfinals. And I mean, honestly, maybe a bit of a sleeper pick going forward here. Pools are going to get harder. We know they have some really good physical players that can really start to punch above their weight on those rice picks. We already know they're really solid on the LNs, so really excited to see how this team progresses from here on out.
Exactly. That was going to be the last match for us for this Saturday little block. Hope you guys enjoyed. There are a lot more to come on Sunday. Starting off at 0 UTC, we've got the US versus Canada, and then a huge block from 12 to 14 UTC, including about, I believe, 5 matches with 2 doubleheaders, so crazy things coming up there. And I mean, I can't wait to see which of these teams are really gunning for that badge. But speaking of things that are rectangular and can go on your profile, Sparky, do you want to tell us a little bit about banners?
Oh, I would love to. It's been way too long since I could talk about these. You can support any of the 32 teams in this year's Mania 4Key World Cup, even if they've already been eliminated, even if they are going to be eliminated this weekend, by purchasing a banner from the OS store for the low price of $2.50 USD. And if you're indecisive, like me, or have loyalties to multiple countries, you can buy multiple banners and show them all off on your profile. Heck, you can even go the extra mile, buy all 32! You'll win somehow if you choose the winning team of this year's World Cup as your banner. It'll stay just that extra little bit longer on your profile and go on into the next World Cup after this one. So show your support. It means the world to the players and the staff and everybody involved. Purchase a banner today.
Thank you, Sparky. Well, that's going to do it for us for now. We'll see you in about 5 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.